In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my ideas for my video game that I'm creating for my senior project. In the description, I will leave a link to my game design document, which I'll be referring to for this video. If you want to follow along, go ahead and click the link in the description and see my game design document. This is part 1 of my game dev series on creating my video game for my senior project. Last time I have uploaded part 0. Part 0 is not required, but if you would like to see the history of my coding experience, go ahead and check it out. What is Cryptid Project Malevolent? Cryptid Project Malevolent is a video game that I'm currently developing for my senior project. It's a 2D top-down horror game similar to Slender the 8 Pages. The year is currently 1843. You end up getting separated from your group while traveling across the Great Plains of the United States. You end up getting lost somewhere in the forest of Idaho, Colorado, or Wyoming. You have to collect 10 emeralds, and while collecting 10 emeralds, Skinwalkers and a Wendigo try to hunt you down. This game will be made using the Unity game engine and will be uploaded to Steam, the Play Store, and the Apple Store for absolutely free. A Skinwalker is a Native American legend, and in the Navajo language means that it goes on all fours. Skinwalkers are Navajo witches that have the capability to turn into any animal they want. However, when they turn into an animal, that animal is a little bit weird and giving off that uncanny valley vibe that everyone gets when looking at something that looks way too familiar. Skinwalkers also have the ability to mimic voices of loved ones. They use this to lure in potential victims. However, there was always something a little off when they mimic voices. My advice, if you hear your name being called or you hear someone screaming help, keep walking, because it's probably a Skinwalker or Wendigo. For someone to be able to become a Skinwalker, they must do something taboo, like killing a close friend or family member. Skinwalkers can be found in the southern western part of the United States, like in states of Arizona, New Mexico, and in Utah. I live in Idaho, close to the Utah border, and even though Idaho is not known for being known for Skinwalkers, I have a lot of stories from people around my town that claimed to saw Skinwalkers. In fact, I have a YouTube video of one of my teachers telling me a story about a Skinwalker that she encountered or her friend encountered while coming back from another town going through the mountains. However, Skinwalker stories in Idaho are extremely rare because, Skinwalkers are not known in Idaho. The Wendigo is a Native American monster which varies across different types of tribes all across America. A lot of them believe that the Wendigo is either a spirit or a physical entity. Either the spirit would possess someone, turning that person into a cannibal, which will start the transition on becoming a physical Wendigo, or someone starts eating human flesh and becomes a cannibal, and later turns into a Wendigo. Wendigos can be found northeast of the United States and in some parts of Canada. They can also be found in the states of Wisconsin and Wyoming. Wendigos usually show up when it's winter time or when there is mass starvation. Wendigos are also cursed with an eternal hunger for flesh, and will try to eat all the people they can find. Just like Skinwalkers, they can mimic voices and lure victims into their trap to eat. The only way you can kill a Wendigo is with fire. In the Native American version of the Wendigo, Wendigos do not have hair or have deer-like features. All of those features have been added in by Hollywood and will not be present in my video game. The map will be based on mountains in Idaho, Wyoming, and in Colorado. The map will be a forest somewhere in the United States in the late 1700s, early 1800s. In the north, there is a mountain with a cave where a cave can be located. Inside, skeletons of animals and humans can be found. In the east, another mountain can be found, but this mountain is smaller than the one in the north. In the south, there is a lake. In the west, there is a river leading to the lake. In the middle of the map are abandoned teepees, rocks, fallen trees, pine trees, tree stumps, dead horses, and a wagon. Like I mentioned earlier, the gameplay is going to be similar to Slender the 8 Pages, just on a 2D form. How it's going to work is that there is 10 emeralds that the player will have to collect. The player would also have a lantern, which the player can turn on and off. The Wendigo absolutely does not like light and only will attack the player when the lantern is off. The Wendigo is also going to have red eyes, so you can spot him in the dark. There's also going to be 4 Skinwalkers. Skinwalkers are the direct opposite of the Wendigo. They will only attack the player when the player has the light out. For the first 2 minutes of the game, it's going to be daytime, but throughout the 2 minutes, it's going to get darker and darker. When the player picks up the first emerald, the first Skinwalker will spawn. When the player picks up a second emerald, the second Skinwalker will spawn. When the player picks up a third emerald, the third Skinwalker will spawn. After the fourth emerald, the fourth Skinwalker will spawn. When the player picks up a fifth emerald, the Wendigo will spawn. All the emeralds that are picked up after the fifth one will grant the Skinwalkers and the Wendigo a small speed boost. We have now made it to the outro of the video. Thank you so much for watching part 1 of me creating my video game for my senior project. Part 2 should be out sometime tomorrow, and we'll begin the prototyping phase of my video game. Thank you guys so much for following along so far in this series, and wish you the best of luck. And remember, if you hear your name being called in the forest, it's probably a Skinwalker.